Okay, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the problem types from the Delta Math assignment titled DM Parallel Lines. And I'm going to be going over the ones that are meant to be done with the teacher. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple. So in this first one, you are asked to graph a line that is parallel to the given line, this being the given line. Determine the slope of the given line and the one that you graphed. And then it explains here to click and drag on the graph. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate the click and drag, but basically you're going to be picking a point such as, I don't know, a point here, anywhere. And then from there, you're going to draw a parallel line, or you're going to drag your point, and then the program will actually draw the line for you. All right, but here's what that line would look like for the most part. It's going to show that it's parallel. All right, so I didn't get it exactly right, you can see, but let me drag it into place. Anyways, and then it wants you to identify what is the slope of the original and then the parallel line, and they would have identical slopes. Well, if you look from point to point, so if we have this point on this graph and this point, then we can identify the slope as the rise over run, and it's up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So it has a slope of 2. That means both of them actually have a slope of 2. So in our answer, I'm just going to put that the original has a slope of 2 and the parallel has a slope of 2. And that's how you answer that question. All right, now let's take a look at this question. Which equation, this is multiple choice, which equation represents a line which is parallel to the line y equals 5x? Well, remember, when we hear the word parallel, we need to know that that means it has the same slope. Well, the slope of this one here is 5, because the equation is in y equals mx plus b form. So you're looking for one of these answers that also has a slope of 5. Well, your answers are not in slope-intercept form, so you're going to have to convert them to slope-intercept form. You can see on this first one here, it would be y equals, and then what I'm going to do basically is that I'm going to take this minus 5x, add it to this side to cancel it, and then I add it to the right side, and on the right side it's going to become 5x, positive 5x, and then minus 7. So you can see right away that this one here is going to have the same slope as 5. This has a slope of 5. The original has a slope of 5. So your answer for this one is actually going to be this one here. All right. Last example from this assignment. It says, use point slope form to write the equation of a line that passes through the point 7, negative 16 with the slope of 3. So we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So when we plug our numbers in, we have y minus negative 16 equals the slope of 3 times x minus 7. Notice this right here, minus a negative. That's going to become positive. So I'm going to very quickly erase that and just call that plus. So in point slope form, we have y plus 16 equals 3 times x minus 7. And that's how you answer those questions. The next problem type. This one says to write an equation of the line that passes through the point negative 6, 5 and is parallel to the line x minus 3y equals 25. All right, so we have a lot going on here. We're going to write a new equation. It's giving us a point. It's not necessarily giving us the slope, but it's telling us that the new line is going to be parallel to this one. Well, that means we have to identify what is the slope of this line right here. So let's start by working that out. Remember, we want to put this in y equals mx plus b form. To do so, I'm going to subtract this x from the left side, and I'm going to subtract the x from the right side. That's now going to say minus 3y equals, and then I have my negative x, and then my positive 21. That all came from right here. 21 is a positive, so we put plus 21, and this minus x, we just write that as minus x. Remember, you can't combine these two. Well, now we have a negative 3y, so what we have to do is solve this equation for y, and we're going to do that by dividing by negative 3. But we have to divide everything by negative 3. All right, so my new equation is going to be y equals, and then we have a negative 1x divided by negative 3. A negative by a negative is positive. That's going to be 1/3 x. And then a positive 21 divided by a negative 3 is a negative 7, or we're going to write minus 7. Okay? Well, what we know from that then is that the slope that we're going to be using for our new equation is going to be 1/3, because we're writing a line that is parallel, or we're writing the equation of a line that is parallel to this one. So it has a slope of 1/3. Well, if that is the case, then we can use our point slope form, because this is our x and our y. This is our x1 and our y1. We're going to plug in our formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Well, we just plug in our numbers. We have a 5 for y1, so it's going to say y minus 5 equals, we know our slope is 1/3, and then our x1 is minus 6, so it's going to be minus 6. So our answer is going to look like this: y and then minus 5. Actually, the minus is part of the formula, so I'm just going to write that, and then I'm going to plug in my y1 equals, my slope is 1/3. I got that from over here. And then my parentheses, x, and then minus. But notice we have a negative 6, and if we do minus negative 6, which I'll write that out, but I want to show you that minus negative 6, this minus a negative would become positive, so I'm going to back that out, and I'm going to call that plus 6. And then that's it, and I'm done. So that would be your answer right there. That would be an equation of a line that passes through this point, negative 6, 5, and is parallel to this line. Let's remember on this one that we could actually go a step further. So we could solve this equation for y, okay? The first thing we need to do is consider our parentheses, or our distributive property. We need to multiply this slope of 1/3 times both of these terms inside the parentheses. So it would look like this. It would be y minus 5 equals, and then 1/3 times x. Well, that's just 1/3 x. And then 1/3 times 6. If you think about multiplying 1 times 6, you get 6. And then 3, or 6 divided by 3 is 2, so that would become plus 2. Now, to finish this out, You need to get y by itself, so you have this minus 5, so you would add 5 to both sides. Add 5 to the left side, add 5 to the right side, and you would end up with an equation that is y equals 1/3 x plus 7. And that would also be an equation, which is actually the same equation, just solved for y, and it's written in y equals mx plus b form.